Welcome back to the ESL Pro League. I am your host, Ryu, and joined at the Xfinity desk by Dazed. We're going to take a few minutes to recap some final thoughts on Mirage. There were some things you wanted to mention about retaking that A-bomb site.
Yeah, so one of the things I wanted to talk about is there was one round, I think it was right after the round we showed earlier, where Ethan was in a 5v3 and he actually died at CT Spawn. But you saw how many retake scenarios they took over A and were able to defuse the bomb CLG to like 6 rounds in a row. So next time you're in that situation, just never die at CT Spawn. It's 3v5, you know where they are, you know they have to plant A. You could see them from multiple different angles. Just don't die. And you could reinforce that by saying, look, we retook it so many times 3v3. Imagine how much easier it would have been had you been alive.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's one of the easier sites, I think, bomb site A to retake.
Absolutely.
Cobblestone, not as easy for retakes on those sites. I think the players are getting in the lobby or close to ready. So we're going to throw this one quickly over to the stash. And Lex, take it away, boys.
Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck.
God damn it.
Dude, when I was growing up, my mom had this like weird kind of celebrity crush on Tom Selleck. So like, you know, as a developing young man, I always wanted a sweet stash. You can live that dream for me, Blue.
That's really a freaking laugh track
that we were talking about.
We literally put
game.
a laugh track on the stream. Dude. Oh my god.
About time, ESL. About time.
What have we become?
A sitcom with your host, Blue Stash.
Oh my god, this is so bad. We need to move on.
Yep.
Into the next segment.
Quickly, before somebody clips this.
Second match, NRG versus CLG on Cobblestone. Lex, tell me your thoughts.
I'm still hung up on the laugh track, man. Okay, so we saw CLG play this yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Scope of time has kind of been distorted for me the past few days.
Got wrecked.
So CLG, no, they didn't get wrecked. They lost financial control throughout the entire game and were like manhandled. Yeah, they kind of got wrecked. Laugh track.
Well?
No? All right.
Still going to work on that.
I think, you know, they may have had the opportunity to kind of like regroup and look at what the things that they did wrong. And I'm hoping, you know, for their sake that, you know, regrouping and kind of refocusing on this match where they clearly are confident against NRG. They're taking the gunfights and they're winning them consistently. I think this is a great opportunity for them to actually, I mean, I predicted a 2-0 in NRG's favor. And obviously they, through a little bit of heart, a little bit of soul, turn Pete's world upside down. I think they might be able to do it here on Cobble. I know I think I've casted like 1 game for NRG since I've been here, and online I've watched a few of times them playing Cobble, and I wasn't particularly impressed. But I honestly think, you know, even though NRG is still in my eyes the favorite here, judging on that last performance alone, I think it's possible that CLG could take it.
All right.
How about you, Blue? What do you think?
I'll still go with NRG on this one. I feel like, honestly, I feel like their T-set was a bit of a fluke on that last map. I don't know what it was, but they went for that like same strat like 5 or 6 rounds in a row. At least as far as their A post plant strat was concerned, but they just kept sending people out towards A ramp, and that was like the key thing that allowed CLG to win every time was they didn't have enough utility to retake, but they kept doing it for some reason. So I don't know if it was just a spur of the moment thing or they just don't have good leadership during that portion of the round. But clearly there was something wrong with that, and I mean that was more of their mistakes than I feel like it was CLG's triumphs. So going into the second map, I still feel like as long as things have been refreshed and reset, that NRG's going to have the edge.
I mean, as far as like a player's mentality goes, when you're in those post-plant scenarios, I mean, you know that things have gone well up until that, you know, point when you plant the bomb and it's a 3v3. We got the entire A bomb site. Like, we'll just wait for the CTs to walk in our crosshairs. Unfortunately, a lot of the time, you know, especially if you have an in-game leader like Cbble, you want to always be playing proper CS. You're kind of like mentally focused on trying to make the right play and the correct play, when sometimes what that calls for is, and I mentioned it as a potential solution, is just like getting more aggressive, waiting for a pop flash from your teammate, push CT spawn, do something to prevent the retake and fracture it before it even comes in. Obviously on a map like Cobble, as we're about to go into this pistol round, I think, you know, both these sides have something to prove to both us as casters who just casted their last match and the audience there at home. So NRG and CLG set to kick it off here on Cbble.
All right, guys, well, let's jump into it here. NRG will be starting off on the T side, and CLG will be jumping onto the counter-terrorist team. We'll see how well they go against each other. And to start things off, well, CLG are actually going to be pretty aggressively pushing out towards A-long. 3 of their players prepared at this point to move in that direction. However, they're still going to have to be prepped for a B hit, as we have 2 more, or possibly 3 more from NRG also getting prepped to push out here, too. A bit of hesitance, though, so plenty of time for positions to adjust, really, on both teams.
Yeah, and I'm kind of bewildered as to what this CLG setup is. Perhaps hoping for some more retake magic, as they have 3 members towards the A halls with no information on the map whatsoever. NRG are remaining quiet, and as I say that, NRG was poised for a B hit, and they are trickling slowly back towards A. And Fugly and both Fugly and Peter are actually about to walk directly into the stack, and Kusta's going to spot it out here in a moment.
C2 Kusta, nicely done. Get some damage off there. Really only spotting the hit, though. Not any damage to remark on, but Kusta now going to still be sitting here in Suicide waiting for that play, as NRG are very, very quiet. However, the drop play now comes in, and this is where the A pinch is going to execute itself, trying to deny any players from rotating in. Thankfully for CLG, they already had 3 committed to long, but now they've actually got to find a way to make this work, as one of them starts to play back into the site. Sabroza is going to be shut off by Gabi. Kusta, though, peeking in there, finds one, but the problem is they lost Hayes here, too. So Kusta got to make that big impact as he swings around the corner here, hoping for a wide peek from the T side, but he's not going to find it. Has to go in, runs out of ammo, but Ethan's there. Not only takes down Gabi, but also Legia. And then we see Kusta moving in there to shut out Tapson, so it's all left to Fugly in a 1v2. He's marked one of them down already to bring it down to this 2 players, but a lot more to go. Thankfully, he's wasting time, but now he's got them both in the open, and that's where he's going to fall to Cutler. CLG pick up the pistol and keep their advantage going into the second map.
Yeah, I was worried, you know, at one point when NRG basically has all 5 members towards that B bomb site, and what, CLG had 2 there, 1 at drop and 1 kind of spotting from sidewalk. You know, NRG seemed to be making the tactically correct decision. Obviously, the mid game took them back towards, you know, let's go into a connector split. So Peter and Fugly rotate back through mid. And, I mean, when you took over the casting right there, I kind of put you in an awkward spot, because it was like right when Kusta was getting the information they were coming back towards mid. I mean, anything could have happened at that point, and it was kind of lucky on the CLG end that NRG opted to commit to that A split. They just basically walked into an effective 4-man stack. And the first kills went the way of NRG. Of course, they got connection control and were able to split up through A. But didn't pay off for them, and now we have NRG buying into this round. You know, a couple of UMPs, Tech-9, CZ. This is a motley crew of weapons. Look at the scoreboard right now. Like, just have, not the scoreboard, like the weapons loadout.
The UI.
You have like every weapon in the game being purchased right here.
It's a big old smorgasbord of guns.
It's a cringe word,
Like that word? No,
but I agree.
That's a great word. It's not a cringe word at all. Hayes trying to take a long-range battle with the Shoddy, doing some damage, but no kills. He gets knocked out by Legia. Cutler, though, with the nade, actually does finish off the most damage he had done, which was against Fugly. Oh, he'll get knocked out. And also Peter being brought down fairly low. Legia and Tabson taking some damage from it, too, but it's not like there hasn't been any return on the CLG. Kusta's down at 62, and Cutler's at 1 HP, so he's not going to be able to do all that much for the rest of this match now. Just tucked away in the safe spot. Sabroza finding himself in the corner there. Actually, well, it's going to be a team kill. I thought it was Sabroza that got it, but apparently it was Gabi that took it away from him there. Bit of a denial. Didn't know that we had those in CS, but Peter, wrapping the corner, finds a nice kill. Sabroza not able to find anything from that position. It was Kusta that picked one up with the Bison against Peter. Now this goes into a 2 versus 2. The bomb's stuck on the ground, though, and NRG a bit cautious to actually move out, especially here with Ethan having a rifle in hand.
Yeah, and 15 seconds remain on the clock. That pop flash must do work, and it does not. Gabi doesn't even bother checking it at that point. And that's a mistake, because Ethan's there waiting. And he's able to grab the second. He's answering back strong in this game after a relatively lackluster first map. That said, 2-0 now for CLG. This Nova position that Hayes started out the round with, we see the TK there and the nice couple kills from Ethan, but I think a couple weeks ago, we saw like Hayes ace with the Nova from that corner, and I remember you shouting, "Oh my God, the Nova!" And I'm like, I could never do that because the Nova's so random. Well, right there, Hayes literally just like shot 6 shotgun bullets in a row and did like 25 damage at 10 feet range. So that's just shotguns in CSGO for you. Regardless, NRG actually opting to buy into this round again. They know they killed 3 members of the CLG side. They know their money's relatively low, and they'll probably keep some of their SMGs, but interesting commitment to try and take control of this half and destroy CLG's financial situation as NRG, knowing that, of course, if they don't even get a bomb plant, probably be forced to eco, but they'll be eeping into money bonus here soon enough.
You can see too that Hayes gonna waste no time actually playing that cautiously and tossing the smoke at the exit to long. He doesn't want to risk being overwhelmed by energy, but it is going to be this attempt more than likely at the pinch down into the A set again. But CLG have prepped for this. They've got a player sitting out towards a window. Cbble is sitting very close to the entrance of drop to deny entry from the other end of this one. So the pinch part is going to be probably the hardest one to execute. And with the smoke denying additional pressure from pushing out into long for these few extra seconds here, it still leaves us with a very slowly executed strat from the energy end of things. tabseN, though, is actually just going to stick and drop, whereas his teammate that was with him a moment ago, it's being Cbble, has decided to fall back entirely and now regroup with the other 4. They're trying to push up towards A. In they go, finally, with 30 seconds on the clock, and tabseN strikes within the drop room. That opens up that flank that he's been wanting to work for. However, CLG still 3 players in this bomb site. One's going to end up getting knocked out here. Cbble sitting around the corner, and unfortunately for Pugly, he just ends up directly peeking it there with a nade in hand. So amazingly survives, down to 23 HP, but again, they shut out Hazed. And again, these final 2 are just stuck up here. And look at Pugly shutting out 1 more. It's all up to Ethan. He's boxed in. Thankfully opens the box by shutting down tabseN, but 3 more to go. Doesn't have the greatest idea as far as where these players are positioned. Just spotted Peter at the very least, but Cbble back over there could ultimately just take him down if Ethan doesn't check for this when he peeks out where he can spot him. And there you go. Cbble, a bit of a messy spray. But Peter comes in for the assist to shut it down.
Yeah, and the force buying does pay off for NRG. I'm not quite sure how. I just know, tabseN lurking over here at drop kind of just aids and delays the rotation actually coming in from CLG. But more to my point is Cbble just kind of spinning around in circles, sniping people to CZ, I guess, helps when you're on an eco. Pistols, man. Pistols. Seriously, like, I'm not even going to go with it. Kusa's got a Nova this round. That should be exciting.
Is it? Is it truly?
I'm looking for you to be like, wow, man, I hope he does something crazy with this drop.
I feel like he's just going to get wrecked, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah?
Judging from my experience, spectating people with Novas. Like, they don't even counter boost him with the Nova.
We saw Kusta do this like 2 or 3 times, not this specifically, but what happened last round? This like wild jump into drop from that window position without any information. tabseN again, kind of capitalizing, dominating this drop position. That last round, tabseN actually picked up the kill with that Tech 9, but the B hit is coming in. NRG going to be quick to clear out the pistols at close range of the MAC-10. That's Legia, lighting up the world of both Cbble and Hayes, and now Kusta and Cutler. I want to see Kusta do something exciting, so I feel justified here. Blue, nice 3K exit.
Now he's gonna get wrecked. Like, he's even getting impatient now, trying to jump back into window, looking for something.
You need to have a little faith. Blue.
Even he wants the excitement, but
look, watch him. Here
gives himself away, and now, I mean, he's just calming his aggression into a door, to be completely honest there.
It was just an elaborate ruse for the deagle kill for Cutler. He will fall to Fugly. Now it's 2-2. NRG, I haven't seen that often where, following a pissed round loss, you buy into it. Following a second eco round loss, you buy into it. And then on the 3rd time, of course, it works. And now NRG basically have set CLG onto this financial landslide where they're double ecoing, and now it's as if NRG has full control of this half, and we're barely 5 rounds in. In fact, we are 5 rounds in. I don't know why I said barely.
Thank you for correcting.
I guess it's like a few seconds into the round.
It's good that the people at home know how many rounds in we are, just in case they can't see.
Of 15. I'm doing the math for you.
Correct up to this point, so no mistakes
yet. I'm illiterate, but I can do a little bit of math here and there.
We can see the NRG players once again kind of knocking at the gates of the B-bomb site. Not going for the execute here, but also drawing all this attention. It's going to cause early rotates. Keep in mind, obviously, take this with a grain of salt. CLG are still just working with upgraded pistols, so getting some great positioning and obviously good frags to be able to still have a great chance to take this round, where ultimately NRG do have the advantage, but since they've seen resistance themselves, there's going to be some hesitance on NRG's own end of this. Not wanting to go in just yet, but there's the smoke working its way over on top of the window. And now the rest of the normal smoke start to broil in there too. Cbble is still behind the box. Nobody's spotting him initially, but they do see him before his flashbang ends up fading away. So while Legia ends up getting taken down, Cbble trades out those 2 kills. Kusta finding one a little bit further back, but he too will get knocked out by Peter. So down to a 3v1. Cutler is the player looking for a flank, and well, he's going to run into his own death.
It always brings a tear to my eye and some joy to my heart when teams that kind of like play that patient anti-eco and they are willing to concede information. Like, of course, CLG knew that they were going B late in that round, right? Like, there was no pressure towards A. They were able to overload the bomb site, and CLG is just like, okay, we're ready for you. We got our OP pistols, and NRG actually handled it really well. They just slowly Molotoved everything out, sent everybody to the bomb site, you know, in a coordinated fashion, not just conceding kills left and right. And Ethan actually got the opening kill, but it was a relatively clean anti-eco out of there from NRG, so securing their 3rd round. And as we head into round number 6, I'm not going to keep doing that. It's actually, you know, this is probably the first real gun round we're going to see this half. So for NRG to continue this streak, going to need to see some magic. We have Hazed and Cutler over there towards the A halls as NRG creeps up through the middle. Probably going to do some sort of an A strike, but Tapson is keeping him at bay over there at drop room. But Hayes is the first one to hit Leggy there, that kill over at Danger, and nice 4v5 start here for CLG.
Cutler again actually getting another kill fed to him as Peter gets knocked out of that one. CLG off to a great start as NRG try to go for this slow-paced play, but at the moment really only walking into their own deaths without any utility to support these pushes. Even now as they jump up, Cutler can definitely see these shadows. Actually does spot the boost at the last second. Unfortunately, Gabi is first to strike. Now though, Hayes can move in, catches the trade. Gabi with an additional pickup, but now down at 5 HP. We'll have to play this very cautiously. The nade's gonna go, but that's way too low. Doesn't end up going up on the site at all. And so Gabi will be able to find this plant. And still, of course, trying to figure out exactly where Tabson's playing from. These remain a bit of a mystery now. Well, not for very long, though. Cbble moves in there, takes him down from the shed. Gabi with 1 and 2 more, actually with 5 HP, but finally cut in his prime by Cbble as he tries to retreat back down through the alleyway, and it will be another round for CLG.
Almost Gabi. Almost. Definitely not a bot beat, though. Nice kills. Almost has the ace clutch, essentially. Nevertheless, it's not a bad round to lose for NRG. I mean, they have plenty of money. I mean, we have Gabi over at 10K, a few other members sitting above 6K and towards 9K even. So only Fugly will require a drop. And that said, CLG losing 4 members on that round. Gonna have to rebuy, drop whatever they can. And unfortunately, that means Famas's maybe some shotguns across the board. And, well, not as bad as a buy as I thought. But that said, still in reset territory. If NRG were to claim this one, we would presume that they'd inevitably win the next 2 as well. So 3-3 now. CLG definitely not out of this one yet. And NRG definitely, despite the advantage that I just listed out, not in exactly a commanding position.
Just like the last map here too, turning itself into a bit of a back and forth battle here. As Peter actually loses half of his own HP, and of course, hopefully this GoTV lag passes in a moment. Looks like we're back to reality. So. Still waiting for NRG to go for their execute, but nothing really happened amongst that lag there.
Well, oh, okay. I thought you were meant. I thought you meant it lagged out. I'm looking at Peter just staring at the wall. I'm actually, my GoTV on this PC is actually lagging, so that's why I'm very confused. But there it is. We're back. CLG now, noticing that there's significant B pressure coming in from NRG. Just calling in that other rotation, and actually, as I say that, he's kind of dipping back towards A with fear of some sort of alert coming out from the NRG side. And Leggy is actually pushed out towards B platform, but it's Kusta first. Strike on a Tabson. And this drop battle is going to continue through this entire half. And that was Leggy trying to use the most common one way in the game. Like, everybody's going to shoot at it. That's not VAC.
They find it. They shut it down. Gabi does catch a trade over towards the drop window, but beyond this, it is a round which CLG has full control over. Gabi, the last man standing in the drop room with 20 seconds left, no bomb control, no utility, and the odds heavily stacked against him. So pretty much as we would expect, Cbble shuts it down, and CLG pick up a 4th, and once again get the lead. Will they hold it? Well, that's yet to be seen, but prospects are looking good for now.
And we have a pause. Does that mean maybe the server's lagging, or is this a tech? We'll find out in just a moment.
I would assume tech, personally.
Well, there you have it. The stash is spoken.
The worst part is I can't even, like, shave it just because, like, to stop you guys from making jokes about it now. It's like, because now I'm committed.
Then we would look. Then we would view you as lesser of a man, and you can't. We're on TV essentially, Blue.
That is true.
Internet TV, still TV.
Or on esports TV too.
Yeah, I mean, that was a nice round from Cbble. Now back to the topic that isn't your mustache. I'm kind of surprised. I would expect, you know, NRG having that kind of dominant start to the game after following the eco round win, be able to at least string more than one round together. and it wasn't even necessarily Gabi's fault for not winning the 1v5 or whatever. It's just, I don't necessarily feel like they're winning the battles at drop. We saw Legia try for that one way in the previous round, and I see that one way in like the ESEA pokes, man. You know what I mean? Everybody's gonna spam it. Cbbe's keen to it. Dropped him quickly, and suddenly you have no B control, and of course, the play goes back the other way. It's not gonna look good. But Cutler's getting pressured over here at A-Halls, and this ego from NRG. Only one AK saved. That's on Gabi, so NRG quickly taking a little bit of map control and conceding a lot more as Goose is already getting a little aggressive over towards upper B, but nevertheless, they will filter back towards that direction.
That kills the A hit for now, as it looks like NRG wanted to just stomp right forward over towards the longer approach there, but now have changed their tune a little bit. At the very least, we're going to see Gabi, a teammate of his, trying to move over towards drop, and even that's been denied too by another smoke. So NRG not really finding any open doors to push through early on in the half here. They will have to try and poke and prod a bit. At the very least, they're getting them to use a lot of this while still plenty of time remains on the clock, and that's a great flashbang to go against Kusta. He has the box to support him there, so won't be knocked out just yet. He even goes for the cross, but that smoke is imperfect. So in the attempt to go for the cross, Gabi is going to take advantage of that and shut him down with the only AK on this team currently.
Yeah, and the bomb's still towards A, and they're anticipating a rotate coming out from CLG after dropping Kusta over at the B-bomb site. But nothing's come out yet, and of course, that's Cbbe's dying a connector. The A split will happen. tabseN's already pushing up towards the connector doors. Hazed and Cutler are pinched in the back of this B-bomb site. They must get some kills. Cutler finds one, and tabseN's going to drop Hazed, so now it's Cutler with 1 HP in the back of the bomb site, the last man standing. I suppose it was Gabi who was lurking over there towards that B-bomb site that inevitably cleared out the remaining CLG members. Now it's 4-4, and the pugilists are back, Blue. We got a slugfest on our hands.
It's an advanced word, man.
Pugilist?
Yeah.
That means somebody who uses his fist to solve his problems.
There you go.
Wordplay aside, 4-4 now. CLG finally getting their economy broken, and this is what I was talking about. I mean, when NRG kind of sets themselves up for success, they haven't been able to fully capitalize on it yet because they haven't been able to break CLG's economy. But now you have a potential double save territory working on CLG. Actually, they don't have that bad of money. They can buy again next round, so not quite a double save. I retract that statement, Blue.
Nade, though, dives in towards drop and almost gets an almost 100 HP against Cbbe there. Just barely is off the cusp of getting knocked out by it. So with 6, though, not really going to end up being much better. Just has to get away from here and really tuck himself away into a better position where he can actually try and find a frag. They're trying to play around over here, too. You can see, I believe that's Ethan that rushes up the steps there and tries to bait out the shot from Legia. Succeeds, but no follow-up. Just gets the intel that there is, once again, presence here as they wait for the actual hit to come. And CLG actually smart about this, too. They did start to shift a little bit closer to the site connector. At the moment, the bomb is placed just outside of the A site over here in mid, but it looks like Gabi is rotating, too.
Yeah, and NRG, again, just playing so patient, trying to spot for any aggression and really punish kind of any information trying to be gathered by CLG. And unfortunately, this means that, you know, once they've given away their position towards this drop area, they're just going to rotate everybody over. And Cutler's the only member remaining over at that A-bomb site, so CLG is effectively stacked B. And it's just a matter of time before the action comes in. Gabi goes over the broken wall. Legia finds one at Chicken Coop. NRG swarming the site. And we actually see Ethan on top of that rock dropping one. Just barely able to see over the top of that smoke, and Legia answers onto Cbbe as both Cutler and Ethan retreat back towards the drop and connector area. Just trying to see if they can get any more economic damage on NRG. Their money's not great, but of course, recovering a weapon would be huge going into this next round.
But for now, though, it does appear as though that the guys from NRG are going to hold the big advantage, and Cutler, too, still just posted up outside. It's actually been, again, if we have the scoreboard up too, we can just look at how much impact Gabi has had so far on this match.
Gabi, man.
Trying to pick up numerous kills from round to round, currently doubling the scoreline of his next highest teammates. 14-5 with tabseN. The next man up on the board, it's 7-5 right now. Yeah,
and you talk about, I mean, there's always the ever-present debate of like, oh, well, you know, frags don't matter or frags are everything when you're talking about stats. But when it's this early in the match and you have 14 kills and the rest of your team is kind of just lagging behind and you've forced CLG to be in these like tragic kind of economic circumstances multiple times, it just goes to show that, like, you know, you didn't win the 1v5, but you killed 4. And that's enough to send him to an eco the next time you win a round. So Gabi doing his part for the glorious NRG. Of course, up 5-4 now. Not quite a clear-cut advantage given to either team, as this is CT side Cbble. Never a easy task on what is considered a traditional T-sided map, but NRG just once again trying to feel out anything from CLG. And in contrast to what we saw yesterday, I mean, Hayes and Cutler are like consistently playing this A-Halls kind of mid setup together. Whereas I think in previous matches, I think that's an adjustment that they've made moving into this particular NRG match. So good to see that they are at least adapting. And that pressure towards A, I mean, both Peter and Fugly have been, and even when they're ecoing over towards the A-bomb site, continuously pushed back and forced to regroup and make another strategic decision. But the bomb's heading towards B at this point. Legia, Tapson, both fishing for long B plat and drop control respectively.
Tapson 2 trying to hunt for that first initial kill, but CLG very quick to actually get out of harm's way from drop. Again, they play the passive style to this one. They still keep, however, 2 players on the A-bomb side. And good reason too, but that nade, look at how much room it gives them. Just jumps in there.
That was next gen. Dude, Goppy's a genius.
Dives in through the nade, the dirt that's kicked up from the nade there. Well, we still see 1 trade rolling out. CLG will find 2 more up on this site. Peter finding 1, and now 2 pickups from over here at the entrance to Long. And Goppy up on the site with another one against Ethan, taking him down. It's all left to Cbble, who might have a flank opened up against Peter here. But as he moves in, they do start to look towards this angle. And unless Cbble is able to pop flashes correctly, then he's going to walk right into his death. And that is exactly what shall happen.
Huge kills from Peter to end that round, but
that nade.
Can we get a replay of that nade? Is that possible? That was beautiful. That was like, watch this. Watch this. Watch this nade. And you can't see me. You can't see me.
Shrouded in dirt.
Flying through, yeah, ninja vanish, suddenly behind Kusta. That was fun. I had fun there. That was fun.
And so we will go into another pause. Excuse me.
It's that mustache hair.
Something stuck in my throat.
Can they? Yeah? You want to tell us more about it?
You had to take it there. No. And the laugh track. Okay.
Where are they? Where are those voices coming from, Blue?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we're...
Am I really that funny?
We're stuck in an episode of the Big
but
Bang Theory right now, apparently.
I've never seen it.
I've seen like 2 episodes.
Wow. We are not in touch with pop culture, are we, Blue? As you didn't even know who Wu-Tang Clan was the other day, so...
Yeah. Jesus.
What is that laugh? Would you relax? Grab another Mountain Dew, bro. We got a whole lot of CS left to cast today, man.
Oh, my goodness. So it's still paused. I believe at this point, it would be tactical.
You think so? I mean, CLG's on Nico.
CLG.
They might just be reassessing things and talking about what's going on with NRG, or there could be some underlying issues. I don't see anybody lagged out, so we could go back to talking about the mustache if you'd like, but I feel like we've really played that out, just as we played out that laugh track throughout today, so... I can't.
I don't have a response to it. That's the problem.
Oh, man.
You know what's coming, and it's like, well, yep, there it is.
There it is.
It's a laugh track.
Mm-hmm. I have Daze sitting off to my right, and he's not amused, so he smiled for me. So if Daze is a reflection for the rest of the Twitch community, I can assure you that nobody's laughing at the laugh track, and that we are woefully frowned upon by the entire internet. What is that one? What did I just hear?
That one's scary.
Hit me with another one.
That's freaky. That one is... That's like an evil clown laughing.
Yeah. With a mustache. An evil clown with a mustache.
Come on.
Sipping some crispy Mountain Dew.
Let's get past the mustache thing.
No. No. Listen, Blue, I'm just looking out for you here. There's going to be some hot babe tuning into the Twitch stream that's just like, wow, that guy has some glorious facial hair, and you're going to thank me for it. You're going to thank Ryu for it, for making you grow it out, actually.
No one's saying
Give credit where credit
that looks good at this point.
Not yet.
But now obliged to keep it.
You gotta plant the seeds, okay? Build it, and they will come, or whatever, and it will grow. I don't know. Field of Dreams.
Okay. Well, Kusta literally in a burning room somehow gets this kill against Tapson. Down at 50 HP, but the 2 Molotovs they throw don't cover that corner, and he's able to spot that. So props to Kusta for playing it like that, but still a lot more to go beyond just that singular kill. and the rest of NRG are going to try to push their way over towards the B-bomb site, where now there's 4 stacked here from CLG, and not only this too, but a flank is on its way from Hazed.
Yeah, and NRG seems to be regrouping right back towards Hazed, and maybe worried about it as they do eliminate him, and this would be actually a prime time to hit B, as all of CLG's like, oh, they're going back towards A. But they're not. They're just creeping out towards B platform, and Cbble, wise to it, joins Ethan and Kusta working their way back towards B, and the window has shifted. Of course, at this point, despite Fugly emptying his inventory, the Cutler rotate is the only one that he will find, so NRG walking out on B platform here. Leggy will be the first one out with a pop flash from his teammates. Of course, spotting a few towards drop, but unknown to the fact that Kusta's hidden towards Chicken Coop could come to bite them in the rear if they don't clear it out, but as I say that, Legia drops him. This is a simple matter of holding the line now before Cbble takes all your heads off.
It's Ethan and Cbble to find those first 2 kills. Good damage done to Cutler as well here, and down goes Cbble. So now these 2 players lit back up, but somehow Ethan finds one more kill. Peter trading that one out. It goes down to a 1v1, but Peter as well finds the final connection. Cutler just found running out in the open there.
Okay, we were having some laughs, but those kind of rounds should never be that close. Luckily for NRG, Peter clutches it out, and they have plenty of money to work with, and there's not that many rounds left in this half, so it's not going to cost you that much in the long run, but suddenly you're looking at having the difference between having 12K in this round and having basically 4K across the board. Could pay dividends moving down the line, as CLG did make that eco pay off in their favor. But a gun round coming out from CLG, 7-4 now. They want to hope to make this something close like an 8-7.5. This is a round to win for sure.
We can see 2 now for the NRG roster. Still split up initially, but Tabson up on top of drop, waiting for his chance to go down inside. Try and go for the execute there. Ethan Kusta still positioned in here too to watch out for that. Again, this is the same thing where NRG have tried to make this hit multiple times, but Counter Logic Gaming have been able to sort of latch on to this and prepare for these type of hits. So now they have the stack for it. Hazed even up on the A-bomb site too, along with Cutler, preparing for this type of an execute. But as they move in, it's going to be Peter that strikes first. Looking for the player up on boost. He's brought to 8 HP, but manages to survive. And we actually see Hayes trying to drop down, but that's just going to lead to his own death. Gob punishes that. They spot this other player sitting in the back of the site. Ethan now going to get mollied off from that position. Actually, I think he's going to get boxed in partially. Yep. Forced out into the open now. Flashbang trying to hide his head behind the cannon. Somehow gets another kill. Where's the follow-up from the guys on NRG at this point? Because he's just ripping them apart. He's grabbed 2 kills. Finally goes down to Tabson. This goes into a 3-on-2, but Peter's heavily lit down to 8 HP. And Cbble being a bit hesitant about pushing onto the site. Same thing for Kusta at this point, as he sits by the doors. But as they move in there, they find Kusta trying to push his way out from the doorway. Cbble trades with Peter, but down at 8 HP, finds that final kill, and NRG stagger another one.
Yeah, despite a valiant, and I mean valiant effort from Ethan in the back of this bomb site. Like, how are you not dead by this point, bro? He's just tapping heads. Gob and Fugly fall. Unfortunately, his team not able to come in and retake the bomb site in time. That said, that's the huge strength when you have somebody who is not afraid to kind of make aggressive peeks on their T side. You know, if you run out of ideas, just work Pete into a bomb site. He'll find you something, and of course he finds that entry right there. Almost paid the price for it, but we're able to come out on top as a fast drop and long B play comes out from NRG. In high contrast from the rest of the way they've played their anti-ecos thus far, rapidly gaining map control and pushing out of that B-bomb site. 3 kills quickly go their way, and they realized the last time we did this, we allowed far too many members from the CLG side to live and shoot us back. So taking the fight to them is NRG. Certainly going to secure the 9th round now. And CLG, moving into the rest of this half, need to kind of either adjust or start hitting some shots, because 9-6 is much more of an ideal situation
look
than
at him,
11-4.
running right up, and he gets 3 kills.
Yeah. That can't happen. How do these things happen to NRG?
They didn't even shift walk it out. They just ran right up, and it wasn't. Nobody checked it. Nobody looked back.
Regardless of whether or not they win this match, how painful is demo review going to be later tonight? When Gob.B's sitting there being like, "What are you doing? Why aren't you turning around?" I don't know either. Gob.B,
what kind
I
of
don't
accent
know.
is
Just
that?
so you know, I don't know, man. I don't know. He's German, right? I don't know.
That doesn't sound German at all.
I'm not trying to. I'm just saying, dude.
Sounds more
Turn
French
around.
than German, to be honest. But
Cover your sectors. Unreal.
what was that?
3 free kills.
Where are these accents coming from?
Coming out for Cutler. You know, it's my last day, Blue. I'm having fun. Let me have some fun, okay?
Needs to be some context at the very least, but
I mean, it could be worse. We could have Australians in the server right now, and then things would get really weird, and I would get fired because they use words that apparently are okay over there in South Australia.
Well, they are upside
cool
down all the
here
time, so the blood kind of
America.
runs into their heads.
What?
They're on the other side of the world, so they're upside down. Do you not know that joke?
No, the toilets do flush backwards, but Cbbe's actually playing this stair area so tragically falls to Legia. And that's the first defense down for CLG side as Kusta pushing around through the statue area, waiting for his pop flashes to come in from his teammates. He actually was blind there. There he goes again. Trying to hold on for dear life behind this statue. And he lives as Ethan's trying to bail him out. Ethan's playing aggressive. He's playing with no fear CS right now. Realizing how important it is to close this round out. 9-5. CLG making this a significantly better looking half, hopefully by the end.
So the rebuy coming in from NRG, thankfully still having enough cash at the very least. It's surprising considering how back and forth again this entire match has been, but finally they had a nice stride, picking up 6 rounds before finally dropping another one here to the members of CLG. But again, it will be the final round of the half. Flying up, both teams have a full buy, full utility, full pretty much everything that they need to try and work a victory for themselves. But big difference here between a 10-5 and 9-6 half, especially depending on who takes control of that pistol. So NRG will want to try and claim that lead and also be able to push forward and try and make this at least 1-1. So they're still the team that's actually contending for a playoff spot at this point.
Yeah, and my PC over here just lagged out, so I'm going to come over to yours. Okay, this is apparently a 3v3 at this point, and NRG has...
You could have just like gone quiet and let me cast.
Yeah, sorry. I started talking, and there it goes again. Frozen. It's PC. Killing me today.
So NRG are looking still to push their way out, but there's quite a bit of hesitance here despite the fact there's no one on the site. They don't know that though, and this is buying time for players like Kusta getting out behind with the APC now. Tapson moving in there, trying to hunt one down, but still nothing to pick up here. The damage being done to Kusta finally as he peeks out a little bit too far to the left there, and Peter hunting for it, trying to shoot him in the butt, but he can't find it. There we go. My butt. There's the shot. Ethan responds, but Tapson also catches a trade, and Peter with another up-close shot closes out the round for NRG, and this half is finally going to close out here at this point. It will go 10-5 for the NRG roster. Still a lot of work to be done. It certainly isn't going to be clean, so we'll come back, guys, in just a few moments with the second half. Stick around right here at the ESL Pro League.
He's gonna get the one kill in that bomb incoming onto the side. FNX has to stay up. He gets the triple FNX! Oh my god, what a way to win that round! They don't have a smoke, so this overstill.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, TheScoreEsports.com, Mountain Dew, and ESEA.
And welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to NRG versus CLG here at the ESL Pro League. Into the second half, we will go here in just a few seconds on Cobblestone, the second map between these two teams. For anybody that wasn't with us earlier, CLG did take the first one in a very close match, and it seems like the second match, although the scoreline differs, seems like it's kind of just as close by the way that that half was played out.
Yeah, it wasn't towards the end that NRG really kind of broke the economy of CLG and ran away with it. I think we were looking at like 5-3 when it actually happened. So for it to finish 10-5, not a few. I mean, CLG had a few kind of uplifting rounds, I guess you could say, where you could focus on, and they did a lot of things right. But I think the big story for NRG is just that, you know, Dirty Pete is back. I mean, he is killing it this map. He was a little quiet at times during Mirage, but he's really opened things up a lot for the NRG side, at least towards the second half of the first half. Second part of the
second quarter of the match.
Getting all technical with me, Blue.
Right? Yeah, that's right.
You are right. That said, second half isn't starting quite yet, so your thoughts, Blue, Hit me with them.
So now that we see CLG going over to the T side, I mean, here's the thing, is that we saw some... Overall, I feel like it was really scrappy on that last map, and I feel like things are going to be the same thing here. I'm not sure exactly what's going on between the two teams right now, but there just seems to be a whole lot of mistakes being made and a whole lot of issues popping up. And it's not just like really existent on one team either. It's just consistently problems continue to pop up, and it doesn't really seem like that's been fixed at any point.
Right.
We've had multiple pauses, multiple moments where these teams could have just, you know, taken a moment back to relax, but we've never seen it just continue to be a huge like back and forth battle between these two guys. Finally, like I said, NRG did find some traction at the end of that last half, but that was really like the first time we've seen it in this entire set so far.
Right, and I think like of the 5 rounds that CLG had won, I think it was like maybe twice they survived with like more than one player remaining. So this round's coming out for CLG. Another quick mid play coming out in this half. This time it's CLG storming up mid. Peter only finds one, traded out quickly by Kusta. Now the A bomb side is for the most part being conceded by NRG, and so the flank coming in from Cbble and Fugly. His tabs and Legia poised to come through connector now.
As they move into, oh my god, Cbble with an instant headshot. Look at follow it up with a second one, and he will get it there too with some assistance from Fugly. Kusta and Ethan are the last two alive, and they're both stuck in the alleyway right now. Bombs down, but doesn't mean they're safe. Ethan holds the first one. More are going to be on their way in a second though, and there's Fugly, gets the clothesline kill, and then follows it up with the second one on Kusta. NRG will keep their lead strong at the beginning of the second half, with some incredible performances there from both Fugly and Cbble.
Yeah, Cbble is having a monster game so far. Sitting at 18-11, he definitely quieted down after, I think it was like, what, 14-5 at one point in this game. But, you know, when it counts, as you said, a nice couple clothesline kills here coming out from Fugly. But for Cbble to swing out and find those 2 frags at mid, made the flank basically all that much more effective. You need to wait for his teammate for help. So 11-5 now, NRG claiming the second pistol round. It's looking good for the NRG side coming into the rest of this match.
And so we are going to see CLG just pushing forward once more now, wasting no time. We're moving into drop and then trying to get themselves out onto the B-bomb site. But Tez didn't actually know. They roll out the window instead of moving out towards the site itself. And this is where it's going to throw them off a bit. But they do regain control after that first kill is gained against Peter. And after that, unfortunately, the members of CLG just flatline from that point forward.
Yeah, Peter does fall, but for the most part, a very clean anti-eco coming out from NRG. Nicely played, both. I believe it was Legia and Tabson chiming in for a bunch of kills right there. Quick succession, so the drop split kind of gets thwarted as, you know, that nice opening kill from Subrosa goes to waste. Despite that, CLG gonna buy into this round. Full AKs, but limited utility. Just head in for some sort of a B hit right away.
Rosa sneaking his way up here too to hunt for any early aggression on the CT's end, but won't be catching it here. Nigeria held back quite passively now. And even as far as their A defense are concerned, they did push Fugly up initially along with Peter to hold for a fast push in through the mid connector, but he has since rotated and is now just positioned outside of the window in drop room, waiting for a B hit. So CLG go forward with this default play, then NRG are going to see it coming from a mile away.
Yeah, and unfortunately for CLG, as you said, the rotates are already kind of stacked towards the B-bomb site, so despite the clock having plenty of time left, CLG has effectively put all their eggs in this B-sided basket. They may opt to regroup here and head back towards A at any moment, but as I say that, they seem to be creeping ever forward towards Legia over there at the B plat. He's got at least a pop flash ready for himself, but calls for one from his team, gets the information needed, and now he knows there's at least 3 coming towards him at B plat now, and he's not able to connect, but he finally drops Ethan. There is Tapson over there, boosted a tree for the crossfire, and he only gets one before Legia, with a pop flash from his team, is able to find one more and another dink on Akusta, Subrosa. Peter getting blind, Kusta swings out, drops him. Now it's just Fugly in a 1v2, and unbeknownst to him, they are very low. This could be doable for Fugly. He finds the first, now it's just Subrosa. 18 seconds remaining with 18 HP on the board. Fugly in this 1v1, getting crept up on by Subrosa, so he regroups, finds another position. Subrosa must plant, Fugly's able to just spray it down through the smoke, anticipates his movement. And with 6 seconds remaining on the clock, NRG Esports has secured their 13th round.
Fugly very smart in the way that he plays that out, almost actually taking down right from the start of it too when he peaks Subrosa about 20 seconds before the replay you saw there on the screen, but ends up catching the player pushing out from drop, and then when he hears that flank moving its way in from the other direction through the initial smoke, He does decide to fall back, wait for him to cross back over to the bomb site, and that's where, of course, he strikes, takes down, finishes things off in the 1v2, and picks up the 13th round now for NRG. But CLG can't really afford to take any more losses, so they're going to buy into this round once again. Another force up, Tech 9 armor from most players. Cutler can't even get armor behind his, and Ethan, the only one with an AK in hand. We will see how well they are able to fare. But ultimately, again, NRG are actually looking like they've kept that footing that they attained in the first half. They're continuing to grow that lead even more so, much unlike pretty much the entire match and set previous to this point.
Yeah, and this is unfortunate for CLG because they don't really have the weaponry to work into a default and actually get any kind of map control. We see Hayes kind of creeping through mid, but Peter's already pushed through halls, getting all sorts of information. He's going to find that kill on Hayes in the back. I almost spoke too soon. But now Peter knows, like, there's no A play coming in my direction. Like, stacked 4 towards B. And so CLG, having played their hand essentially already without even intending to, you know, will draw the ire of nearly the entire NRG team over here in the B bomb site.
Still waiting for the actual push to come in, and that's actually a perfectly timed pop flash to destroy Gabi. He's going to get knocked out. They still taps in Chicken Coop, but they haven't really accounted for him just yet, so he's going to pick up 1, 2, and now 3 kills. Even the 4th one as well. Tapson just destroys the entire hit from CLG on his own. And that puts a 14th round on the board now for NRG.
God taps and just holding things down from that chicken coop area. Able to scan these sectors of fire. Watch this. He just drops one, finds another, and another, and well, just one more for good measure. Well played by Tapson. All with 1 magazine and that M4. 14-5 now. NRG looking to close things out. CLG, of course, have to buy basically the rest of this half. So Tech 9 Armor's fast mid split coming out from CLG. Fugly finds the first. The smoke in front of himself, but is not able to cover him. Hayes finds him, and so the mid push is on, and CLG, you know, meeting a lot of resistance from NRG at this point from Connector, but they're able to smoke things off, so they're able to get a little bit of a foothold up towards A. And Peter's actually going to fall over that wood wall area from Hayes, who's already pushed onto the bomb site. Legia trades that out, but a lot of damage being done to this NRG side. Now it's a 2v2. Cutler and Ethan remaining back in the back of this A bomb site as Tapson has fallen all the way back through B tunnels, and Legia is already in Connector, so of course, going to regroup now, use whatever utility they have to retake this bomb site. And Cutler creeping here towards the connector doors. Might be a thorn in their side if they don't clear this out, but Legia will. Unfortunately, that means he's taking some Tech 9 in the face. Cutler finds him, and now it's Tapson into 1v2.
Tapson's going to creep in and gets instantly wrecked by Cutler. So CLG not done fighting just yet. They will be able to chain together at least 1 more round here. Unfortunately for them, I believe NRG has enough cash to, I was about to say they have enough cash to try and force up here, but they're actually going to decide against it. Just upgrading pistols instead. Fugly does pick up armor, so will Tapson, and Legia with the scout, so it's just a mid-buy for the NRG roster as they take this one and then save up, of course, for the buy, full buy on the next round.
Yeah, and finally, CLG has some weaponry and some utility to go for this kind of map control. But NRG, ever aware of how little there's been attention paid to the A bomb site thus far in this half, decided to stack 4 members over here. A little bit of a gamble, but if you get into the mind of your opponent, you realize that, you know, CLG is probably going to start trying to take map control, and that means A halls, mid, and that's exactly where NRG are stacked right now. Peter's boosted up in this, I don't even know what to call that, annoying spot. He's an annoying spot. Legia falls to cover to start things out, but he gets spotted out in this annoying spot. Kusta's gonna parapet. I like that. That's a scientific term.
That actually is a term. Pretty sure that's actually what it is.
I believe you're right.
I could be wrong.
But you could be right.
There you go. That's the key. It's confidence.
Yeah. If you believe that you're right, then you know I believe that you're right.
So it's brought down to a 1v3. CLG, of course, with the advantage now.
At least Fugly's able to recover this AK. Whether or not he'll be able to save it, I think errors on the idea of CLG is going to be playing this kind of cautiously. They don't have the best money situation. You can see on the board there. Just 1 member able to effectively rebuy for the next round, and that's Cutler. So his teammates will be requiring drops out of him. No sense in chasing when you don't have the money to do it. So Fugly's going to escape with this AK almost assuredly, unless something crazy happens. But bomb ticking away now. CLG racking up their 7th round of the half. Or the game, rather. And NRG will have to wait to push this to match point another day. Terrorists win. Probably might be this next round, actually, as they do have money to buy. Of course, with that AK as well. Helps matters. And as I say that, I think Gabi has a UMP, so forget the drop, Fugly. You keep that AK.
You're going to see him sticking with that. And Legia also picking up armor for himself too. But the rest of NRG here, still with enough cash to really pick up a full buy for themselves. And CLG with the same thing. They know what's on the line though. They know they need to try and close this one out very quickly. But NRG have gone for a full 4-man stack over towards this site, only leaving Peter to watch out for a long push. This is fairly typical as far as the CT sides are concerned. But of course, the impact needs to ring true. At the moment here, see Legia up on top of the tree. They're ready for a broken wall hit. So CLG will want to slow this down a little bit and wait a timeout, of course. No, Molotov just barely is still somehow within the zone of that smoke. So it's actually not going to hit down and force Kusta out of his position.
Yeah, and Hayes and Cutler are over here towards the C side. And they know Peter, loves to play A solo at some point. So they're doing it cautiously, but it isn't until just now that you saw Peter through that pop flash where he even suspected that there was any kind of terrorist presence over here on the A site. So at that point, I mean, CLG's already taken the initiative to take drop control, but Peter's going to find Hayes, and that's exactly what they're worried about. And so good at denying that immediate map control as an AWP at A, and that's Peter. So 5v4 now. CLG pressed up against the wall. They need this now. They're going to have to do it with a man down. I think that's 3 men down.
You jinxed it.
Yes.
Clearly.
Jinxes aren't real. We've been over this.
Ethan and Cutler will try to push with what they have left here over towards the A-bomb site, but since all is quiet on B now, NRG have kind of given the all clear to start their rotate closer to this site. So we do have Fugly getting that position over on balcony, and a few more just around the drop area. Very, very quick. Very, just a couple seconds away from being able to rotate themselves into the site. And actually, with only 10 seconds left and no sign of CLG pushing in, they are going to resolve to save instead. So this will actually just give NRG the match point now. They're going to go up to 15. They won't lose anybody along the way.
Yeah, realizing that their chances of being able to bring this back in a 2v5 situation are not good. Keeping that AWP, keeping the extra AK allows one member of the CLG side to drop, so they'll have full weaponry moving into this round. And Kusta actually opting to pick up an AWP of his own, so double op setup, terrorist side cobble always makes for a fun time. Or not, as they'll probably sit passively and wait for aggression that won't come. And as I say that, I think Peter's peeking side hole, so... Nope. He's got that sixth sense. He knows probably not a good idea. And actually, Hayes taking a lot of damage through these doors. Yeah. That's one of the most obscure spam spots, obviously, is through those mid doors. And so often, both as CT and T, regardless of there being, well, a set of 2 doors, essentially, in front of you there, it's very easy to track the tracers and actually return fire. So we saw Hazed feeling the pain right there, drop down to 39 HP. As I say that, Ethan eats a frag grenade over towards drop, so this drop control is going to come out from CLG. May set them up, and actually, Cutler and Peter in the most awkward op battle I've ever seen in my entire life. Somehow, Peter escapes only to fall to his death from Hazed. So Cutler now, quick switching out of would have been an easy kill. I'm not sure he was even spotted there.
He just chased him back downstairs, but lets him get away anyway. So Fugly's going to retreat to the site. And again, it's making for another very awkward round. CLG are still trying to commit themselves over to the A site, and Kusta, well, he had a flank. Oh, no.
Oh, Kusta's good. He's good.
He does still end up going down to Got B, but he'd absolutely wrecked. CLG finding another kill. It's all in Got B's hands. He actually gets 2 out of 3 of them. If he had been able to buy himself a couple more seconds against Cutler there, he might have just been able to clutch it out. But the round, once again, ends up going into the favor of CLG, and they keep this match alive for a little bit longer.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if I see some armor going on to the NRG side at this point, just picking up pistols. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually tried to force an eco right here and try and at least get guns down from CLG. Of course, as I say that, it doesn't look like they're buying too much into it. Don't have a whole lot of money to work with, but despite that, 15 to 8, you definitely have some wiggle room here to make some mistakes and learn from it, but be anxious to keep the CLG money in check as they're working with Khalil right now.
Peter and tabseN inside of smokes there find 2 surprise kills. It's turned back, and now Peter going to work his way outside, but without armor, it's very hard to hit those shots, and, well, he almost finds it. He does eventually get brought down by Hayes. So the plant's on the ground here, and Fugly, obviously, with just the default pistol, not a whole lot that he can try and do to stop CLG from picking this one up. On the repeat, again, they spot him. He's really just trying to sit back here and see if he can catch anyone chasing him, but there's no reason to do so, considering he's got a default pistol.
Yeah, I mean, trying to at least, you know, fish for a weapon isn't a bad decision here, but really what you're trying to do is again, as you tried to do there, get a final kill. Of course, you'll be traded out, and it'll all be for naught, but certainly the CLG money situation is going to be pressed to the brink if they keep winning rounds with several losses on the board. But it doesn't really matter at this point, right? Because it's 15-9. You need to win these rounds any way you can. And as I say that, NRG buying into this one. Double op setup on Peter and Tapson. Limited utility on the board, but perhaps this is the answer to all their problems with denying map aggression towards B and A at the same time. And as I say that, CLG actually for the first time, maybe all half, have dedicated 3 members towards this A side of the map. And may try and actually press through the holes here. Flea's over there in danger. And Peter's actually going to be there to meet Kusta. It's a nice shot onto him to start this round out. Now it's a 4v5 with a lot of damage already being done to CLG.
NRG with the stronghold here too. CLG still looking for their way into the site, and well, that's not going to be one of them. Hayes just peeking his head out there. Fugly's going to see that coming. That's a really well set up smoke. And with that, obviously, we are going to see one more from CLG start to fall. Cutler's still waiting around this corner too, but Fugly a bit conscious of players pushing their way into that mid connector, so doesn't really want to commit to finding that frag against Cutler just as of yet. As he moves down, bit of hesitation, but he does manage to knock out Sabrosa. The final 2 here are pushing their way past Suicide now. Fugly should have been able to see both of them as they move in. There we go. The first one rolls into Tapson. Second one is just going to be Cutler back in the corner, trying to turn this around with the op, but he gets shot in the arm, and that's going to close it out. Tapson finds the final frag against Cutler, and it will be NRG that claim this second map, trading out tonight with CLG as they go 1 for 1, losing that earlier match on Mirage, but correcting things here and taking the match 16-9.
Yeah, beautiful map here coming out from NRG. A little bit of a shaky start, but definitely dominated the second quarter of the match, as you so aptly put it. Which I'm actually, you know, it's a fair term. I'll take it. But, you know, from there on out, pretty much it was all NRG. And once they had won that pistol in the second half, it was very difficult for CLG to even try to, you know, claw anything back. And they actually got a few rounds there towards the end, but, you know, working with little money, Galils, and whatever you can really suffice, kind of forces you to kind of either, one, work into it and execute right away, which is what they don't want to have happen, as it hadn't worked pretty much the entire point, or entire time up to that point. But moving forward, I mean, we got a couple more matches tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously the overarching issues too, that NRG already had just a massive lead by that point, so just not enough mistakes for CLG to make to be able to crawl back.
Very true.
That is going to close out our first set for the evening, folks, but there's still a lot to break down, so we can send things back over to our analysis desk. Dazed, and Ryu, please take it away.
Thanks, Blue. Yeah, it was a good set. It was close. I don't know if the scoreboard represented how close it felt.
Yeah,
like
I think it definitely was close.
That match was. We were talking that maybe if CLG wins that second half pistol, they could even make a comeback and make that a win instead of a 16-9 loss.
Yeah, and I think CLG won the first half pistol, right? But then they forced, and then they forced again on NRG, and they finally won that third round. And you know, CLG's economy was just in shambles that entire game. So it was really tough for them to get their footing in.
Yeah, there was a 10-5 half for NRG to start. Definitely had a couple rounds where they were going up against just pistols, but it felt like it was way closer than that 10-5 score.
Yeah.
And then they just didn't have enough kind of runway before, you know, to close, to reel that one back in. Cbble had a really, really good performance.
Yeah, he did. Especially on that one shot on the pistol round when he's clearing middle.
Yeah, we joked, like, what, did Tapson sit down at Cbbe's computer? Because, I mean, it was like a flick. I mean, even with X-Round, it was like, I didn't even see that guy.
Yeah,
it was
that was an
that
insane
kind of,
shot, man.
That kind of speed, yeah. So we've got a couple of replays that we could take a look at from that first map. This is going to be that pistol round that we were just talking about. And hopefully we get a chance to see that flick again from Cbble. A beautiful retake. It was him and Fugly on the flank, and they were able to land the shots, some of them beautiful, some of them slightly less. The second kill from Cbble was like way less impressive
than the
than the
Ethan
first.
was there, and he was actually a little bit late. Had he been and stayed around the danger area, he would have just shot his gun and baited for Sabrosa and the middle guy perfectly. So I think that was a mistake by him. I think if he was in that danger area, spotting for that middle, and then the middle guys know they're coming, that guy doesn't die in the back, because Cbble actually shot that guy in the back. Sabrosa wasn't even covering his teammate at that angle. If Ethan's there, you know, he could still play the post plant really easily. He just has to come up, you know, a little bit late. Most likely his teammates are still going to be able to trade really well. And I think they probably win that round. So that just comes back to, you know, we talked about that a lot versus Immortals. You know, the the lack of communication. You know, that guy dying in the back at middle, Subroza in a spot where, you know, Gabi very smartly jumps, make sure he jumps, and then Subroza you're really unfavored to get that kill if that person jumps. You really
especially because he hit Fugly and then peeked it. So it was like first guy
so
jumped the corner, second guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so it was interesting to talk about the way Immortals played their T side against CLG yesterday. Talk us through how different that was versus the way NRG played their T side today.
Yeah, so NRG, you know, they played a much more slower pace style. We saw them take control of those A-halls constantly. You know, they didn't just brute force anything like Immortals did, you know, that we saw yesterday. And they, you know, a lot of it almost seems like it came down to respect almost, you know. But that's just NRG's play style compared to Immortals. Immortals sometimes will just, you know, just run you over like we saw.
Yeah, there's definitely... I mean, yesterday we joked that the freeze times were faster than some of the rounds. Definitely not the case in that first half there. As we take a look at another highlight.
I was happy to see that because we got to see some of CLG stuff. You know, I saw some cool setups at the A-halls with Hazed and Cutler, even though Hazed didn't have a particularly good performance this game. But yeah, in this replay, this was the Tech 9 round running up middle, 14-5.
And we talked a little bit about a similar round to this. It wasn't exactly this round, but the importance when you have a player like Peter was kind of trapped there in the site. And we talked about the concept of playing the percentages. Talk us through the importance of, before the bomb gets planted at A, there was a round where, I think was it Ethan? Maybe was at the Cannons.
So that round, when he was at Cannons, he was blind. He was in a really bad spot. He actually ended up getting a kill. But the thing I want to talk about with that round is the CTs there. I think it was Subroza and maybe Nathan, or Ethan, sorry, not sure. I think both of them were alive. And they wanted to wait the smokes out. But the thing about the A side on Cbble is, if you have a chance to go through the smoke while you have a teammate alive, even though you're going in blind and it seems like, you know, it seems like a bad idea almost, right? Like you're going in blind, you know, you have to go make a right towards middle or a left or whatever, but it's actually the best chances that you have to win the round. If you give up that post plant and let it be a 3v2, even a 2v2, it's so difficult to come through that connector when you could just jiggle peek AP, not necessarily jiggle peek, but jiggle or, you know, peek every 4 or 5 seconds on Heaven and APC, you know, towards connector and Heaven. Your best odds of winning the round, even though you're going in blind and it seems like a bad idea, is actually going through the smoke. Because remember, Ethan's at the Cannons. They have to put resources to try to kill him. A lot of the time you could shoot some people in the back there and, you know, make a hectic situation work for you.
Yeah, and so we were talking the percentage of winning a post plant versus taking the risk of going through the smoke. It's more favorable to take that risk.
Yes.
We've got one more replay of the last round of that second map. Great job of Fugly getting this kill, holding holes control.
It's such a difficult kill while he comes through that smoke in that one-by-one doorway.
That's the not the risk reward of going through a smoke. We talked about when it makes sense on a map like this.
I almost guarantee they probably thought Pete was the only one there because a lot of the time he solos those A-halls, and that was probably like a read they made.
Yeah, and they were able to just kind of close this out. This round wasn't really ever in doubt. I think there was a couple kills that happened, but it was pretty convincing.
Yeah, those long A-halls are really good for like they really cater to Peter's strength as an opper, because Peter as that like just shotgun opper playing close like that, he's really good at it. You know, like even if there's a smoke up, he's just shotgun opping like super close. That's like one of his strengths as an opper, and also taking risks and good risks. You know, he's not afraid to play risky, and a lot of the time he gets away with it really well. And if he's at those A-halls and he's, you know, playing close, he could play for information, he could re-aggress after they take control. It really does cater to his strengths a lot as an opera, and I think that's one of the reasons that NRG is pretty damn good on Cbble.
Yeah, and it seemed like Peter started to really come to life there. A lot of heart and souls on display towards like the second half of the first half and then onward. And then we did talk about Gabi. We got the stats for Gabi. Big performance. He's not always like their heavy fragger, so when he does have that kind of a performance, it's usually rare, but an indicator that like they'll probably win if Gabi's putting up 23 kills in a match.
Yeah, like I bet the stats would be like if Gabi puts up, you know, 1.0 FBR, they're probably like undefeated or something, you know.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. Yeah, it's not too often that we see it, but and some of the shots that pistol round shot.
Yeah, he was on point, man.
Super, super impressive. They're also, we talked about the innovation that they bring to the table. If there's a team to watch demos of to learn new smokes, new mollies, new use of utility, it's probably that team in this region.
Oh, absolutely. And dude, some of the smokes and flashes that they come up with are just really next level. Like Gabi has a smoke on Cash where he throws it from T-spawn and it pops on top of highway. So you could just like fake middle, keep a guy highway for 1 second, run outdoor. 3-man, like A-site outdoor. Stuff like that. A lot of really cool pop flashes. It's one of the reasons I like playing with Legia and Rank S. He always has something crazy up his sleeve that I could see.
Yeah, we saw them use, they did like a double molly to get control drop. They got taps and down. Then they did this like grenade bounce through the window with taps
cool.
and jumping
that
through
was
the debris.
so awkward to watch when Kusta went between them.
Kusta went in between the jump, through the smoke, and actually got a kill out of it. But you could see, like, that's not it's a lot of teams, they go with things that other teams have done already. NRG seems to find new things and they implement
they're very
them.
innovative.
Very much so.
Even on Mirage, I've actually never seen somebody throw a Molotov like that to hit the window. There's that like pink, window up there on the top left, and they bank it off the top left to hit the window. And I thought that was pretty damn, innovative. I've never even seen that before.
Yeah, like I said, if there's a team that, if you are the coach or you're maybe a premier team and there's some things that you'd want to implement, they're definitely a good team to shamelessly rip off the executes and stuff from. We talked about Gabi having a great stat line. I know one place that you can find all of the stats for Gabi in his CSGO career. That is The Score Esports. Take out your Apple phone or Google phone, go to the iOS store or the Google Play Store, and be sure to download the Score Esports app. It's the best place for esports news and stats. And don't go anywhere. When we get back, Daze will be casting this next map. I will have the Bears to my right, and we'll take a look at Echo Fox going up against Renegades.